On a Tuesday afternoon in a packed Los Angeles courtroom, rapper $AP Rocky, born Rakeem Mayers, was found not guilty of 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. The jury's decision, delivered after just 3 hours of deliberation, brought an end to a closely watched trial that had gripped the music world and beyond. Rocky, his face etched with relief, embraced his lawyer, the formidable Joe Tacopina, as the courtroom erupted in a mix of cheers and gasps. Rocky had been accused of shooting at his former friend and fellow AP mob member Terrell Efron, known as AP Relly, during a heated confrontation in Hollywood back in November of 2021. The charges carried a potential sentence of up to 24 years in prison, casting a long shadow over Rocky's career and personal life. His partner, pop superstar Rihanna, was a constant presence throughout the trial, often seen holding Rocky's hand and offering words of support. The prosecution, led by Deputy District Attorney John Lewin, had painted Rocky as the aggressor in the altercation, claiming he intentionally fired his handgun at Efron, grazing his hand. Their case hinged on Efron's testimony, who told the jury that Rocky had pointed the gun at my face, and that he feared for his life. However, the defense, spearheaded by Tacopina, argued that Efron was an unreliable witness with a history of legal troubles and a motive to lie. Tacopina relentlessly chipped away at Efron's credibility, highlighting inconsistencies in his account and suggesting he was motivated by financial gain. The incident that sparked the trial took place on a November night in 2021, against the backdrop of the Hollywood Hills. Rocky and Efron, once close friends and collaborators, had been embroiled in a simmering feud, their relationship strained by Rocky's meteoric rise to fame. According to accounts presented during the trial, the 2 men, along with several members of their respective entourages, crossed paths on a street corner, and an argument quickly escalated into a physical altercation. Surveillance footage played in court captured grainy images of a scuffle breaking out, with figures jostling and punches being thrown. The footage of the alleged shooting itself was blurry and inconclusive, but the audio picked up the distinct sound of gunshots. Efron testified that he was backing away from Rocky, his hands raised in a gesture of surrender when he felt a burning sensation in his hand. He claimed that Rocky had fired the gun, striking his knuckles. Rocky, for his part, remained silent throughout the trial, exercising his right not to testify. His legal team maintained that he had acted in self-defense, claiming that Efron and others in his group had initiated the physical confrontation, and that Rocky had only drawn his weapon as a last resort to protect himself and his companions. The prosecution's case rested heavily on Efron's testimony, but it was a foundation that proved to be shaky under cross-examination. Tacopina, known for his aggressive courtroom style, grilled Efron relentlessly, picking apart inconsistencies in his story and highlighting his past legal troubles, which included convictions for assault and robbery. Tacopina presented text messages sent by Efron to an associate in the aftermath of the incident, in which he boasted about planning to sue Rocky and expressed a desire for a large financial settlement. "This is about money," Tacopina thundered in court. "This man is a liar, a con artist, and he came to this courtroom to try and cash in on a false accusation." The defense also called several witnesses who contradicted key aspects of Efron's account. Members of Rocky's entourage testified that Efron had been the aggressor, that he had thrown the first punch, and that Rocky had only brandished the gun after being physically attacked. They painted a picture of a chaotic scene in which Rocky, fearing for his safety, had acted instinctively to defuse a dangerous situation. The prosecution countered by pointing to the fact that Rocky had left the scene before police arrived and that he had later disposed of the gun, actions they argued were indicative of guilt. However, the jury ultimately found the defense's arguments more persuasive, delivering a not guilty verdict on both counts. The heart of Rocky's defense was the assertion that he had acted in self-defense, that he had only drawn his weapon as a last resort when confronted with a physically aggressive and potentially dangerous individual. Tacopina argued that Efron, with his history of violent behavior and his admitted desire for financial gain, had a clear motive to lie about the incident. "Mr. Mayers is not a gangster, he's an artist," Tacopina told the jury during his closing argument. "He's a young man who was attacked, who was in fear for his life, and who acted lawfully to protect himself." He painted a picture of Rocky as a victim of circumstance, a successful artist targeted by a former friend with a grudge and a history of dishonesty. The defense's strategy relied on undermining Efron's credibility, and Tacopina proved to be a master at it. He exposed contradictions in Efron's testimony, highlighting inconsistencies between his account on the stand and statements he had made to police in the immediate aftermath of the incident. He questioned Efron's recollection of events, suggesting that his memory was clouded by alcohol and drugs he admitted to having consumed that night.